November 14th, 2004. Pacific Ocean, 100 miles southwest of San Diego, California. The USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, one of the most powerful naval formations on Earth, was conducting routine training exercises before deployment to the Persian Gulf. Aboard the nuclear-powered supercarrier, approximately 6,000 sailors and airmen. In the air, FA-18, Super Hornet fighter jets from Strike Fighter Squadron 41, the Black Aces, among the most skilled combat pilots in the United States military. What was about to happen would not be explained by the United States government for 16 years. It would not be fully reported in mainstream media for 13. And when it finally was, the story did not come from a conspiracy website. It came from the front page of the New York Times. I need to establish something before we go any further. Because the moment I say the words UFO or UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, a certain part of your brain is going to start looking for the exit. You have been conditioned to associate those words with unreliable witnesses, shaky phone cameras, and people who wear tinfoil hats. This story is different, and here is why in 3 sentences. The witnesses were active duty US Navy combat pilots and radar operators with Top Gun credentials, 18+ years of flight experience and security clearances. The evidence includes official video footage released by the Pentagon itself. And in 2023, the lead pilot testified about what he saw, under oath, before the United States Congress. This is not a tabloid story. This is a documented military encounter with an object that, according to the official US government report, exhibited technology far superior to anything that we had at the time, have today, or are looking to develop in the next 10+ years. Those are not my words. That is Commander David Fravor, speaking under oath to the United States Congress. To understand what happened on November 14th, you need to understand what was happening in the days before it. It started on November 10th, 2004, 4 days earlier. Radar operator Senior Chief Kevin Day, stationed aboard the USS Princeton, the guided missile cruiser assigned to protect the Nimitz, began noticing something strange on his AN/SPY-1 radar. The SPY-1 is not a consumer product. It is a military-grade phased array radar system capable of tracking a golf ball from 100 miles away. And what it was showing Kevin Day did not make sense. For 4 days, the Princeton's radar was detecting objects, multiple objects, operating at altitudes up to 80,000 feet, then dropping to sea level in under a second. No aircraft can do that. Not a fighter jet, not a ballistic missile, not anything in the US arsenal or any known arsenal in the world. The objects had no predictable flight pattern. They appeared and disappeared. They moved in ways that defied known aerodynamics, and they kept coming back. Day later said that the objects reminded him of something falling like a drop of rain, but moving with apparent control and purpose. He reported the anomalies up the chain of command. For 4 days, no one was scrambled to investigate. The Navy apparently was watching and waiting. On the morning of November 14th, the radar contact returned. This time, the Princeton had a lock, a single object, hovering at around 20,000 feet, then dropping, then ascending, moving, but with no apparent propulsion signature, no heat trail, no radio frequency emissions. 2 FA-18F Super Hornets from the Black Aces were diverted from their training exercise to investigate. In the lead aircraft, Commander David Fravor, call sign Sex, a Top Gun program graduate with 16 years of flying experience and over 3,500 flight hours, including combat time. In the second jet, Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, his wingman. In each cockpit, a weapons systems officer in the back seat. Below them, on the surface of an otherwise calm Pacific, there was a disturbance, an area of churning white water, roughly the size of a Boeing 737, frothing on the surface as if something large was moving just below it. No vessel was visible, no submarine wake, No natural explanation for the isolated turbulence on a calm sea. And then, hovering about 50 feet above that churning water, they saw it. Commander Fravor's words from his sworn congressional testimony: "It's white. It has no wings. It has no rotors." I go, holy shit, what is that? The object was approximately 40 feet long, white, smooth, shaped like a Tic Tac, the white breath mint, elongated oval, featureless, no exhaust, no intake, no control surfaces, no windows, no markings, nothing that indicated how it was flying or what was generating its lift. The outer surface, Fravor noted, had the appearance of a whiteboard, uniformly smooth. Fravor decided to engage. He began a spiral descent toward the object, attempting to establish its altitude, speed, and behavior. The object responded. As Fravor descended, the Tic Tac began mirroring his movements, ascending as he descended, maintaining the distance between them. It was not fleeing. It appeared to be watching him. Fravor pushed his FA-18 harder. He attempted to cut inside the object's flight path, a classic fighter pilot intercept maneuver. He closed to within roughly half a mile, and then the object accelerated. Not gradually, not with any visible thrust or propulsion. It simply was there, and then it was not. Fravor described it disappearing in under a second. He said, "A jet at Mach 3 takes 10 to 15 seconds to disappear from sight. This thing was gone instantly." His weapons systems officer, Lieutenant Commander Jim Slate, described it as accelerating as if it was shot out of a rifle. Seconds later, radar technicians aboard the USS Princeton reacquired the object on their scopes, not near the engagement site. It had moved 60 miles to the south, to a pre-briefed rendezvous point, in an unmeasurable amount of time. Fravor landed back on the Nimitz. He immediately requested that the next aircraft launched be equipped with the ATFLIR pod, the Advanced Targeting Forward-Looking Infrared Camera System. Lieutenant Commander Chad Underwood took off and found the object. His infrared footage, showing the white oval shape tracked by the FLIR system, drifting and then accelerating off-screen, is the video that the Pentagon officially released in 2020. The video that has been seen by hundreds of millions of people worldwide. The video the US government confirmed is real. After the incident, something strange happened. Or rather, nothing happened. No formal investigation was launched. No briefing was convened. Fravor and Dietrich filed their reports and were, according to their own accounts, met with disbelief and ridicule from fellow crew. The Navy moved on. The USS Nimitz deployed to the Persian Gulf, and the footage, the FLIR video, the radar data, the detailed engagement reports, was quietly collected and filed away. For 13 years, the Nimitz encounter was known only within military circles. Then, in December 2017, the New York Times published a front-page story that changed everything. Journalists Helene Cooper, Ralph Blumenthal, and Leslie Kean revealed the existence of a secret Pentagon program, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or AATIP, that had been quietly investigating UAP encounters since 2007 with a $22 million annual budget. The Tic Tac video was the centerpiece of the story. The story broke the internet. Within days, the video had been seen by tens of millions of people. Congress began demanding briefings. The Pentagon confirmed the video was real. And in 2020, the Department of Defense officially released 3 UAP videos, the Tic Tac footage among them, stating that the objects in the videos remain unidentified. Then came 2023. Fravor was called to testify before the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability, under oath, in a public hearing. He sat at the same table as former intelligence officer David Grush, who testified that the US government has retrieved non-human craft, and former Navy pilot Ryan Graves, who described ongoing UAP encounters by active duty pilots. Fravor's statement included one sentence that has not been refuted: "Explained or adequately addressed by any government body since the Tic Tac object was far superior to anything that we had at the time, have today, or are looking to develop in the next 10+ years. Let's slow down and look at what the evidence actually establishes, because this is where the Nimitz case becomes genuinely hard to dismiss. The object was tracked by multiple independent sensor systems simultaneously. The AN/SPY-1 Aegis radar on the USS Princeton, one of the most advanced tracking systems ever deployed at sea. The E-2C Hawkeye airborne radar aircraft flying above the carrier group. The AT-FLIR infrared targeting pod, which captured the only video evidence. And 4 trained military witnesses who saw it with their own eyes. A peer-reviewed scientific study published in the journal Entropy in 2020 attempted to calculate the minimum accelerations implied by the object's observed behavior. The researchers estimated accelerations of over 5,000 times the force of gravity. For context, the human body loses consciousness at around 9G. Modern fighter jets max out at about 9G sustained. The object the Princeton radar tracked would have required accelerations of hundreds of Gs, with no sonic boom, no heat trail, no visible propulsion, and apparently no structural stress on the vehicle itself. The official US government conclusion, as stated by the Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence before Congress in 2022, the Nimitz incident cannot be explained as human-made or natural. The object remains unidentified. 19 years of analysis has not changed that assessment. Here is where I want to leave you. Commander David Fravor is not a fringe figure. He is not a conspiracy theorist. He is a decorated military officer who spent nearly 2 decades flying some of the most advanced combat aircraft ever built. He has been tested, evaluated, and trusted by the United States Navy with hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment and the lives of the personnel under his command. And he is saying, under oath, before the elected representatives of the American people, that what he encountered on November 14th, 2004, was not of this world as we know it. Alex Dietrich, his wingman, spent 17 years not speaking publicly about what she saw that morning. When she finally came forward in 2021, she said she came forward because the stigma attached to reporting such encounters was damaging the willingness of active duty pilots to report what they were seeing. And what they were seeing, according to Ryan Graves' 2023 testimony, was happening regularly. Not occasionally. Regularly. The data does not lie. 4 independent sensor systems track the same object. Multiple credentialed witnesses describe the same encounter. The US government confirmed the footage. A peer-reviewed scientific study estimated accelerations beyond any known physics of propulsion. And Congress held a public hearing. In 2023, about this, whatever was hovering above that churning Pacific water on November 14th, 2004, it was real, it was tracked, it was filmed, and it remains officially unexplained. Before I go, here is the question I cannot stop thinking about. Fravor said, under oath, to Congress, that what he encountered is technologically ahead of anything we have or will have in the next decade. There are only 3 possible explanations. It is a secret US program that Fravor was not briefed on. It is a secret program belonging to another nation. Or it is something else entirely. The US government has officially ruled out the first 2 for this specific case. Which leaves what exactly? Tell me what you think in the comments. I want to know where your logic takes you. And where in the world are you watching this from? If this video challenged something you thought you knew, hit the like button and subscribe. Share it with one person who thinks they have a rational explanation for everything. I will see you in the next one. Keep looking up.